Okay, well, it has gone 1 o'clock, so I think we should probably start. If those who have registered but haven't turned up, then there'll be plenty of time for them to catch up. There was some time for questions at the end, as it is, and so it shouldn't be too much of a lack. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending the webinar on the upcoming International English for Healthcare Conference. My name is Chris. I'm the Managing Director of Specialist Language Courses. We are co-organising the conference as well as sponsoring it. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about what the conference is going to consist of. So you can see whether it's something that might be of interest to you, or if you're already, I see there's a couple of presenters here as well. So lovely to see you as well. So there's a chance to get some more information on the details of the conference as well. Petra, can you introduce yourself as well, please?
Good afternoon. I'm a part of the organizing team from Ealthy. So all the membership registration requirements are my responsibility. So if you need anything, please contact me.
Great. So yeah, Petra's the membership secretary, has a fantastic attention to detail. Any questions you've got about attending the conference, and Petra is the right person to talk to. I'm going to share my screen so we can crack on. What I'd like to do is just to kind of run through the presentation. It won't take very long, just to give you some insight into what's happening, and then there'll be some time for some questions at the end. So do save your questions for when we have finished, and myself and Petra will do our best to answer them as well as we can. So I'm just going to share my screen. Okie doke, and let's go to the. Okay, so first slide. This is something that probably you've all seen. So this is just the key information. That picture there, that's the Brighton and Sussex Medical School. The medical school is on the campus of Sussex University, which is it's quite a prestigious university, top 20 university in the UK, and they have a well-recognized, well-reputed medical school. So we're delighted to be working in partnership with them to host the conference. We also have some sponsors who are very kindly, they'll be exhibiting at the conference, and a couple will be talking at the conference, and they're also supporting the conference as well. So a thanks to Express Publishing, Capsule, and OET. This is where the conference takes place. You can see we're on the south coast of the UK. For those of you who don't know the UK very well, it's about an hour south of London on the train. One good reason to have the conference here is that it's very easy to get to. So it's close to all the London airports. There are good train and bus connections. It's close to the Channel port. So I know that a couple of people are driving over from France, for example. If you're in the UK, then the motorways directly take you to Brighton as well. There's car parking available on the campus. If you're staying in Brighton, then it's a 10-minute train ride. So you go to the Brighton station, bang in the centre of Brighton, and then there's a 10-minute train ride to the Falmer train station, and you can get to the conference from there. It's just a short walk from Falmer station. So that's where the conference is. You may have seen this. This is the program. I'll do a little bit more detail in a moment, but you can see it's a full program. It's a full 2 days. So it starts in the morning. We've got keynotes first thing on Friday, first thing on Saturday. We've got a keynote at the end of Friday as well. And then a lot of really interesting, very varied presentations in between. Plenty of breaks for refreshments, for lunch, etc. So plenty of opportunities to meet the other people who will be attending at the conference. So people are coming in from all over the world, and I'll share a little bit of detail on that in a moment. So that's the program. This is all on the conference website. There'll be a link at the end as well if you haven't had a chance to look at that. We're really pleased to have three very eminent keynote speakers. Sophia, Emma, and John are all very well known in this world where language intersects with healthcare, widely published books as well as peer-reviewed articles. John is Emeritus Professor of Clinical Communication at the University of Birmingham. He's also the president of Ealthy, who are putting the conference on. Sophia and Emma both work at University College London. While all three of them work very much with where language and healthcare cross over, you can see from the keynote titles that actually they're coming at it from very different perspectives. So Sophia has done a lot of work where her research has really gone into areas such as mental health, end of life, looking at the language around quite difficult areas. She'll be talking about a recent 3-year research project, a very hot topic in terms of language and healthcare, and that's of vaccination and kind of comparing the language used in institutional sense, where it's very much around accuracy, standardization, etc., and how that then translates into the ears of the layperson, so to speak, and how it actually increases or it causes certain levels of anxiety, vaccine hesitancy, and so on. So a super interesting topic about how language, which is used in very much in a kind of sort of technical way, is then brought into a non-technical space and the challenges that arise from that. Emma's work is probably inspired by her work in her research in London, and reflects very much a kind of global trend within healthcare. We've got this incredibly kind of globalized healthcare workforce now. I mean, my company, we work with nurses and doctors all over the world who are traveling from one place to another. And so you have very multicultural, multinational, multilingual workforces. And not only that, increasingly multicultural, multinational, multilingual patient bodies as well. So we've got these really interesting challenges that are, that are coming up from the kind of cultural shifts and linguistic shifts which are happening in such a critical area of people's lives. These are obviously really high stakes conversations. It involves not just the patient, but also the patient's families, the communities. And Emma's work is really around the, how we negotiate those interactions between multilingual workforces and also the patient bodies that they are working with. So really fascinating. I mean, right across the UK, but I know increasingly elsewhere. And some of the talks also talk about this sort of crossover between those people, professionals who are speaking one language with patients who speak another language, and how to negotiate that interaction. And then finally, we've got John. His talk is all around medicine and the arts, so thinking differently. Medical humanities is a really hot topic, not only in medical education, but also in medical language teaching and communication, and how we integrate the sort of ambiguities, the uncertainties, the unpredictabilities of literature, of art, of poetry into clinical education, where it really is very much about accuracy and standardization, and that sort of level of language is that sort of type of language is critically important. But at the same time, how the arts can be used to encourage an open-mindedness to the kind of realities of life and the ambivalences that those contain. So 3 super interesting keynotes, and we're really delighted to have all 3 at the conference. I think they're going to be really interesting and really kind of lots of food for thought. In addition to Sophia, Emma, and John. We've also got presenters really from around the world. So you can see the list of countries here. So there's going to be a lot of really interesting presentations around the work that people are doing in terms of that intercultural communication that we just talked about with regard to Emma, but also around how people are using technology, how people are designing materials, how people are working with quite specific groupings. There's one of the talks about, for example, is about psychiatric interviewing and how language really impacts on all those particular areas. So super international conference. So it's not going to be a massive conference. We are a small conference given the very specialist nature of what we do, but a really international mix of people, not just presenters, but also delegates as well, who are coming from other countries, as we can see here. The presentations themselves and the program is available, of course, on the website and can be downloaded and shared with people. But it covers an absolute, a real variety of themes and issues within English for healthcare. So there's an absolute ton of stuff to get inspired by, to get you thinking about your practice, about the area that you work in, and so on. So some really interesting talks that we're running. Just for the most part, it's going to be 2 streams, so it won't be a choice between 4 or 5 presentations running simultaneously. So that means you can really get to a lot of what people are going to be presenting at the conference. Plus, not just presentations from around the world, but also poster presentations. So we've got 7 poster presentations currently agreed, and the deadline is still open until the end of this month. So if anybody here would like to put a submission in for another one, then we'd be delighted to have you join. The posters themselves will be in the kind of entrance area of the medical school, which is where we'll be having refreshments and food, and where the exhibitors. It's a lovely open space, glass all around. Hopefully it'll be a sunny day, and it's a lovely space to be there. If the posters are not there, they'll be in one of the main speaking rooms. So there's 2 kind of big areas where the presentations will take place. So they may be in one of those areas as well. We've got the exhibitors I mentioned before. So Express, OET, the International English for Healthcare test, now used and recognized widely around the world. So we're in conversation with people all over the world, from Colombia to Botswana to Sri Lanka to China even, who are all looking at taking OET or integrating OET into their English for Healthcare courses. We're delighted to have Express. I mentioned them very briefly, but they publish a very wide range of books, very specific, including OET preparation, but also English used by healthcare professionals of one sort or another. Capsule is an online app developed primarily by the Brighton and Sussex Medical School, and it contains hundreds of cases which doctors are using to support their clinical education. It has a strong crossover with those interested in language, because they're all in English. They all offer all kinds of scenarios which encourage undergraduate doctors to work through a very wide range of cases across a very wide range of healthcare areas in order to develop their clinical approaches within those. Works very well with advanced level students as well. And then there's that specialist language courses. We publish online English language courses. We have about 850 hours of digital content, which is used by universities, nursing colleges, healthcare employers around the world. And we'll also be showing off a little bit about what we do. So that's the kind of plus, in addition to all the presentations and the plenaries. The conference dinner, for those of you who are interested in food, which I think most of us, is taking place at the Indian Summer restaurant just off the seafront in Brighton. It's an award-winning Indian restaurant. One of the reasons we chose Indian is because it really is the national food of England these days. and has been for many years, really. And these guys do a brilliant job. So there's going to be an absolute ton of really delicious food for us to try. It's right on the beach, like I say, and so afterwards there'll be plenty of time to have a walk through the historic part of Brighton where it's based, and onto the beach, have a drink, watch the sun go down, that kind of thing. Brighton itself, it's one of the most, one of the liveliest, most interesting resorts in the UK. It's got 2 universities, a well-known art college, a lot of English language schools. So it's a very vibrant place, lots of things happening. It has a big old beach with cafes and restaurants right alongside it, as well as various entertainments. And it has great shopping as well. It's well known for its kind of alternative approach to most things. It's quite a bohemian sort of place, but well worth visiting if you haven't seen it already. It also has an Indian palace built back in the early 1800s when Britain was all over the world, and inspired this was built by the Prince of Wales at the time, so the equivalent of Prince William now, and it was his kind of party palace when his friends would come down from Brighton to have a look. And you can go in and have a look around, super interesting inside. To register for the conference, very straightforward. We've got a couple of different web pages there. So you've got the englishforhealthcare.com registration page, and then there's the Ealthy website as well on their events page. A 2-day ticket is 150, or for Ealthy members. Becoming a member costs €55, so about £50. So it's well worth signing up to access all the resources and all the articles and so on that on the Ealthy website, a growing website as well. Or it's £190 for non-members. You can attend just for the one day, so you can come for the Friday or the Saturday if you can't do both. And then it's an £80 for members, £100 for non-members. You can also book for the dinner. There are some places we have reserved the whole restaurant, and a lot of places have already gone, but there are some more places to go. So sign up for a 3-course Indian feast as well. This is a discount code, so this is for anyone attending this webinar. It's a £30 discount. This gives you the early bird registration fee. So had you booked earlier this year, you would have paid a cheaper price, and this gives you that cheaper price. So it's a £30 discount on the 2-day, and it's a £15 discount on the 1-day attendance. So do make a note of this when you check out. Then that is the code to enter as you check out. So E4H30 or E4H15, and that will give you a £30 or a £15 discount. And that is about it. So I'm going to stop sharing. Just to mention the poster very briefly before I do, there is another week to put a proposal in if you would like. If you want to contact us outside the webinar, then the address is conference@ealthy.com. That goes directly to Petra, who will pick it all up. I'm going to stop sharing now, and we'll throw it open to any questions on any of this or anything that we haven't put in this now. So there we go. So any questions? There's one from a B. Bricklin Zeph. You're in Japan. You submitted a poster. Petra, did you get the poster presentation?
Yeah, I will check your submission. At the moment, I'm not sure if we have discussed this.
Okay. Perhaps you can resubmit it in that case, just to make sure we have it.
Yeah, please contact me after the webinar, and we will discuss it.
Okay. Okay, great. So we look forward to receiving that. Yeah, and question from Jan, will this be online as well? Petra, do you want to answer that one?
You mean the conference, Jan?
Yeah, the conference, yeah.
No, we haven't planned the online event. Only the face-to-face personal
Yes.
event.
Yeah, I'm afraid it's a physical conference only. There's all kinds of issues with the medical school and having an online feed which goes to the rest of the world and so on. So data security is pretty heavy there. And so putting on a dual kind of face-to-face and online conference was tricky. So we decided to really stick with the face-to-face. And we hope that everybody can make it. We know it's a bit of a way to come. But in previous conferences, that level of interaction between people has been brilliant and has really worked. And because it's such an international space, so it's a small conference, but very international, people really have found that a way of making sort of friends and colleagues who they would never have considered being friends and colleagues with before. So really urge people to consider coming to the conference.
Yes, what I can say from the last conference, couple of speakers were keen to share their presentations, so you might be able to see at least the presentation and contact the speakers. Yeah, maybe a couple of articles. We are thinking about some kind of magazine or proceedings after the conference. This is still discussed, so you might be able maybe just read some presentation and research. We have also
Yeah, that's right.
Ealthy website, we have a research section. So for those who are presenting research, you are invited to send me your submission, your research summaries, and we will be happy to promote and share your findings and work at our website, Ealthy website.
Yeah, absolutely. We will add a lot of the conference content to the Ealthy website.
This research section is open for any people who are interested in medical English. It's not only for members, it's also for non-members. So please feel free to contact me and send your research work.
Good. Any more questions from anyone? Anyone, anything about the content of the conference, about getting to the conference? Okay. Well, thanks. That's great. For you've just resent the submission, so that's brilliant. We'll look forward to getting that. Good. So if there are no more questions, do feel free to contact Petra on conference@ealthy.com in order to ask any questions which come to mind. Please, if you're going to book the conference, do use the discount codes. If you didn't make a note of them, again, just contact us and we'll send them across. Letter of acceptance is completely fine, absolutely. So for anyone who needs that in order to attend the conference. So for example, if you're getting a visa to travel, we can also send out a letter of invitation. If it's your institution which is paying for you to attend the conference, then we can send an invoice to the institution as well. Good. Well, then, thank you very much for your time. And we hope very much to see you in Brighton in September. Please feel free to share the conference details with anybody you can think of who might be interested. And do get in touch if you've got any questions at all. Okay, so we're going to end there. Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everybody, for your time and for coming to the webinar. Hope to see you there. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.